Hello, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. Now, looking at my alarm clock, I have 5 hours in which to launch something for the best Kerbal to Duna window. And I don't have enough science to buy any new things, so I'm actually just going to go with a piece of advice that I hope is true, which is that if you can get something to the moon, you can get something to Duna. So, to be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure why I'm in the VAB. I'm just going to send Steel Snake 2 along. Good old Steel Snake. So with a probe core, but I think I might. Okay, what have we got? Don't know why they're. I was wondering why they're slightly off. That's slightly off axis. I think, but that's. It doesn't seem to want to put itself down always. Let's upgrade the core. Should probably give it some better solar panels, but I don't think I'm going to. The main difference between this and the normal Steel Snake is that I've put the gravioli detector there, or I put an extra gravioli detector there, so that I can get lots more science that way by constantly grabbing it, taking the data off it, instead of having to climb all the way down there and then back again to get the gravioli data and get it directly from there. This is a Telemachus antenna, which I've not actually done much with Telemachus. Telemachus actually opens up effectively a small web server that I can then connect to, and I need to just, by fiddling with that and not being careful, I've actually mucked up my symmetry. So there you go, that could have gone wrong. So slightly more batteries, there you go. So allegedly, if you can get a craft to Duna, you can get it back to Kerbal. You can get a craft to the moon. You can get that same craft will get you to Duna. Now the question is, who do I send? If I send a scientist, I can get lots of Science Junior data as I go, because I can reset and I can get at the minute, admittedly, I can get 4 mystery goos, but I can only get 1 Science Junior. So if I take a scientist along, I can do that. If I take an engineer, on the other hand, I'll be able to use this chute here as as a parachute to help land on Duna, and then I can repack it and get back and use it for aerobraking and parachuting on Kerbal. To take a pilot, I can take away that entirely. So, decisions, eh? I'm just going to save that. I think that's going to be my steel snake from here on in. The other issue being that I don't currently have any scientists who aren't busy. And there's a brief pause while everything loads, and I hope the game. I probably have too many mods. I think I've gone back to crashing all the time, which I think is because I've got a whole bunch of extra mods. If I have a look at my astronaut complex, I've got available a pilot, 2 pilots and 2 engineers, 3 engineers, I think. But all my scientists are busy, and I do not have time to go and fetch them. Still very cross about that. So I'd have to buy a new scientist if I was going to send a scientist. And to and to be perfectly honest, there's a lot to be said for it. It'll be quite expensive though. I think I'm going to send along an engineer to do the stuff with parachutes. So I'm going to sort that. There we go. We're going to go for steel snake 2. I'm going to take away Jed. We're going to add, I guess, Bill. So there you go, that's what's going to happen. See if I can remember how to fly this thing without setting it on fire. I've been having trouble recently where any launch, I don't know if it's trouble is the thing, where my launches basically go okay, except they take forever. The frame rate's really, really, really low. And everything looks like it's on fire. So here we go. This is going to be our Duna launch. So off we trot. And I'm hoping this is going to be a nice dull launch. Start moving, start turning over at 50 meters a second. Ratio and keep an eye on the speed. I might want to rearrange because you can edit these flight engineer panels, and I may well want to rearrange them such that they. So I have the thrust to weight ratio. I might as well just throttle down entirely at this point, because even with just the boosters running, it's going to do what it's going to do. Is basically the thing. I'm going to keep it on prograde using the SAS. Until I have to stage. was a design flaw I found before. So I'm also going to have to remember I'm not going to be staging. That happened basically. That detaches everything except the final capsule, and I had an issue where my parachutes deployed before I wanted them to. Now, what I'm hoping is that because I'm going very basic, I'm going prograde, so I'm getting heating already. Because I'm going prograde, I don't get the stability issues, and I'm clearly not. Everything's nice and stable. Okay, so I throttle up. I stage. Gradually bring ourselves back to not going. Oh, tad south actually. Just north is that red line there. Going all right. Perhaps this is doing what I wanted to do, so that's good. Probably safely ditch my fairings. That worked pretty well. My ship does not seem to be on fire, which is also good. Also seem to have stopped going south, which is even more also good. Sudden switch over to orbital, which is why my prograde vector just changed suddenly. It's all going rather smoothly. I shouldn't say things like that. But this is not terrible. Time to apparatus is beginning to rise. And possibly what I want to do right now is just head straight to the horizon. Although I'm going to be in coasting phase fairly soon. Going in more or less the right direction. Go to 75. All right. That wasn't bad at all. We're just gonna physics a little bit. Physics accelerate until we get above the atmosphere. Because I mean, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I'm of the opinion there's no point placing your secularization burn until you're actually out the atmosphere, because that's when you know what the final position is going to be. You don't know that until then. Oh no, we're not doing a material study. Good God, no. Given that I've decided to take an engineer along, there's going to be exactly one material study done, and that is going to be on the surface of Duna. Okay, how much time have we got to do that burn? I want orbit. Okay. Uh, 509 delta V to get to that target. Yeah. I've got over 1,000, so right. Got much more control once I've got the rockets going. Overcooked it a little bit. Almost circular orbit. What do you still wanting that? No, I'm not doing that. Okay, now I'm going to do a thing that I should have done before, which is work out exactly what my orbit should be. When actually, that's a thought. I suddenly remembered that the where's my check my alarm clock up. Oh, that's not my alarm clock. Right, so I've got a few hours to sort this. Okay, so I've just remembered that really I want to have a circular orbit, like 100. Well, the default is a circular orbit of 100 by 100. So let's actually make that. Go away, you. Might have to tell you to shut up until we're actually in space. There's a button to tell it to shut up, but I don't want to forget about it. Alright, so I'm going to do a couple more maneuvers. I'm just going to get myself to a reasonably circular orbit. And I have time to do this, so it's not really a problem. And I suspect when it says 5 hours to get to the right orbit, I suspect that's like the most super mega amazing efficient time, as opposed to this is the only time you can go. If you don't go now, you'll never go ever, kind of thing. And I got a great big huge unwieldy thing. So I've got to go find where I put interactive illustrative. There we go. Origin Kerbal, Duna. I'm just going to assume 100 kilometers. Oops. 100 kilometers. I can't type. 100. Do the maths. Okay, so it's telling me what the phase angle needs to be from Kerbal as compared to Duna. So basically, when Kerbal is at 90 degrees here, I want Duna to be at 45 degrees off that way. I'm assuming that is taken care of by. I've set the Kerbal alarm clock, so I'm assuming that's been done. Fiddle. I'm in that mode. Why did I go out of that mode? So let's zoom out. And so basically, the theory is if Kerbal is on, is he? Oh, that's interesting. That is completely the opposite of what's. Oh no, Duna's that one. That's Eve. I was going, what? Eve's in the wrong place, but Duna's this one. So as you can see, that seems to be about right. That looks 44.366 degrees. I'm just going to assume that's correct. And what the phase angle I want for my ejection angle is 150.91. What are you complaining about? No, you're not getting a material study. Stop it. Okay, go back to that mode and then zoom in. And then ignore. Oh, actually, no. I am going to want to turn this off. I'm going to. I need to turn this off. I'm hopefully going to remember to put it back on when I get to Kerbal. I get to Duna. Because otherwise, it's going to keep trying to make me do time warps. It's going to take me out of time warps, which I'm not going to want to do. I'm being possibly slightly silly in that I've got a 0.8 second burn to do here. And I'm not doing any thrust limiting or anything like that, which I probably should do. I've also got a slightly wobbly spacecraft, which always makes these things a bit annoying. But I reckon if I keep track of the time to node burn properly, I should be alright. 2, 1, 0. Then we roll. Well, I wish I had a proper node following kind of KOS. I really need to get KOS back in. Oh, this is right. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so there we go. That was a successful launch. That went well. Nobody died. My rocket didn't go on fire, which admittedly has been happening quite a lot recently. So I'm quite pleased that it hasn't gone on fire for once. So now what I really need to do is set up the ejection burn itself. And and I think that is going to be next time. There may also be another thing that happens, because I have thought that it might not be a bad idea for me to send not one thing to Duna, but two, and send one of my simple satellite things off to Duna at largely the same time. In theory, you have this issue where you shouldn't be able to launch big things one after another like this. But given the simple satellite is basically a missile that you set up and launch off, I don't feel too bad about it. So I'm going to call that there. I'm going to say thanks so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the videos. Find Nearly Enough Dice at nearlyenough.com. And until next time, reach for the stars.